failed to kill members of the League on multiple occasions.
Everybody take what you can and get out. It's foolproof plans for how we...
Hi, I'm Rennie Cowan on behalf of Superman homepage. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. Love to talk to Superman anything.
You know, I'm a fan of Superman, so I just have to say I really appreciate your work as Martian Manhunter on Smallville. I love that show, and you were great. You were also fabulous. But with Justice League Doom, you play the villain, Vandal Savage, which is vastly different than the hero, Martian Manhunter. And it's a returning character for you, Vandal Savage. How do you like playing the ultimate villain of this story?
It's incredible, because any hero is measured against the evil they face. So it's my job to bring as much meat to this so that the heroes look better. Because if the villain is weak, then it's like the hero's really kind of diluted. And I think Vandal is a larger-than-life, immortal, operatic villain. And that's the way I chose to play him. I listened to a lot of classical music prior to going into the studio, because that's what I think he hears in his head. That is his theme music, you know. We all have our own internal theme, you know, whether it's rock, hip-hop, funk, whatever. I think Vandal's is Wagner. You know, it's Flight of the Valkyries. That's his personal theme.
That's fantastic. I love that you listen to music. So do you feel that Vandal Savage is more of a psychological villain, that he uses his wits more than his brawn?
Of course, yeah. I think that he cannot compete with the likes of a Batman or a Martian Manhunter, ironically enough, physically. But there's no one other than possibly Batman who can rival his intellect. I mean, this is a man who became super intelligent based on his origin, and then through the decades and generations has accumulated knowledge far beyond those of mortal men. So it creates a certain size and a certain erudition and elitism that is unique to Vandal Savage, and that's what separates him, I think, from certain villains other than maybe Lex Luthor.
Right. So do you feel that Vandal Savage is the greatest challenge to Batman and Superman? Or, I mean, the Justice League?
I think so, because he's like a cockroach. You can't kill him. I mean, you can't kill him. Put him away for life. Yeah. Why? He's going to outlast the prison. Do you know what I'm saying? This guy is, and that's a tough villain. That is a tough villain. It's like I think Batman is one of the greatest heroes, because he comes from a dark place. So he relates to evil in the way that evil has affected him. A lot of heroes work out of the light. And so that when evil, like a Vandal Savage, comes along, they kind of don't know how to deal with that. But Batman, in his unique way, does. And that's a scary proposition. So Vandal, in his own way, is a scary proposition because of that.
That's interesting. So how different is your take on this Vandal Savage as opposed to the one that you did in the Justice League animated series?
The Vandal Savage in the Justice League animated series was more like many hammers hitting you at once. This Vandal is like a big sledgehammer trying to take you out all at one time. So there's a certain maturity, if an immortal can mature. There's a certain grounding that he has that I don't think he had before. I think he was more of that Renaissance man. He was more lyrical before. Now he's more chords, harsh. He really does feel that he's got it now. He's got the answer now, and this is going to be his time. So he doesn't have to play it. I don't have to nuance this thing. I can tell you what I'm going to do because I know I've got the answer. Again, very dangerous opposition.
Fantastic. So because I am a huge Smallville fan, I got to ask this question. How do you approach heroes as opposed to villains? I mean, do you do anything different to prepare for playing someone like Martian Manhunter as opposed to someone like Vandal Savage?
As you say that, it comes up that the pain of a hero is greater, I think, than the pain of a villain, to me. I think villains play a lot of ego, and they play from a lot of psychological one-upsmanship. Heroes come out of a certain compassionate place where there's pain involved, and they want to save the world and save their victims from experiencing that pain. Great comedy comes out of pain, and I think that's why great comedians can play drama better than dramatic actors can play comedy. You know, it's easy to cry. We all get mad and angry and bitter at certain points in our day, but how often do you find the temptation to laugh? And what's the motivation for that? So, yeah, I mean, I don't think that I prepare much differently, other than that when you mention that, I can feel the pain of Martian Manhunter when you say that. I can feel the elitism, as I said, the bourgeoisieism of Vandal Savage. They don't ever think this is going to happen to them. That's why they always think they can overthrow the world. And it never happens. They delude themselves. You know what I'm saying? I don't think heroes do.
That's interesting. So I've heard that you collect comic books.
Yes, you've heard correct.
So tell me about that.
I say I've got 17,000. My wife
Wow.
says I have over 20,000 comics. I've collected them since I was 6 years old. My first
great.
comic was Tales of Suspense, Iron Man and Captain America. It was a twofer in one issue, bought in Cleveland, Ohio at a drugstore. I've still got it, and up to last year I was collecting every week. I'd go to the comic book store. And before I would collect based on artists, you know, the colors and the pictures and the figures. Now it's writers. I mean, it's a real writer's medium, whether it's Jeff Johns or Jeff Loeb or Garth Ennis or, you know, a number of really brilliant writers. Mark Waid, who's a good friend of mine. And they're much more, I think, intelligent now than they ever have been.
That's fantastic. And you know, Superman had its humble beginnings in Cleveland.
Yes, yes, I know.
And that's where you began your comic book collection. That's
right.
great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
your time for Superman homepage, and I look forward to seeing your performance in this movie. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.